Joining us now from Berlin is Michael Schaefer, former German ambassador to China and current chair of the board of the BMW Foundation. From Beijing, Cui Hongjian is senior research fellow and director of the Department for European Studies at the China Institute of International Studies. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Ambassador, we just heard from our reporter that China and Germany have signed some pretty big deals during Chancellor Merkel's visit to China. How important is this visit for Germany?
Well, I think this visit is a visit in a series of annual visits that the Chancellor has been doing since 10 years. So every year, I think this is not regarded as a routine visit, but it is a visit which caters to the various levels of our relationship. Of course, business, but business is not the only one. The cooperation in the international field of foreign and security policy, and of course the cultural field, which has become more and more important. So I would say it is an important visit, but it is not an extraordinary visit compared to others.
Hongjian, it looks like this economic relationship is pretty big, and it seems that Europe is open for business with China. We just had President Xi Jinping visit the United Kingdom. That was a very big visit. Chancellor Merkel now in China, and in just a short while, the French President, François Hollande, will be in China as well. Is the China-Europe relationship set for a major expansion?
Yes, exactly. I think that, especially in recent years, we can find out, I think, a very, very huge development for these relations between China and European countries. And especially, I think that the relations between China and some big countries in European Union, it gives us so big dynamic to this China-Europe cooperation or relations. Just like this, frequent high-level visits between China and Germany, between China and UK, and between China and France. So I do believe that now the China-Europe relations become already one of the most important relations in Chinese foreign policy. And not only because it's a kind of a relations between a developing country like China and a developed area in Europe. I think that it's also now both two sides, they share more and more consensus or common grounds on some international affairs and the security issue, everything. Just like this time, Chancellor Merkel visited Beijing. She not only signed some big deals with her counterpart in China, I mean primarily, and also she touched some regional and global issue like Syria or Ukraine with President Xi. So I think now both sides, I mean China and the European countries, they shared some similar stance or attitude to this international situation. For example, how about the multipolar world or some multilateralism issue like that. So I think now we do have more reasons to say this very, very good development for relations between China and Europe.
Ambassador, this year has been designated the year of China-Germany innovation cooperation, and that's a buzzword we're hearing very often from China, innovation. What kind of cooperation can we see between Germany and China in this particular field of innovation? This has become very important for China, that it not just be seen as a manufacturing center, that it be seen as a place where there is innovation, where things are designed and built from the ground upwards.
Well, I think most people talking about innovation think about technological innovation. That, of course, is important, has always, by the way, been important, because there has been an enormous transfer of know-how and technology over the years from Germany to Chinese companies. But I think we are entering a new scene, a new era of innovation. And that, of course, relates to what we call Industry 4.0. Here we have decided that companies and institutions, research institutions, universities, will work even closer together than in the past. I think that's a very important part of it. The other part, obviously, is innovation in society. Our society moves on. We have an enormous pressure from below. We have the desire of young people to dive into the digital age. And here I think we need to compare notes and try to assist each other in developing social networks, connect our societies, try to learn from each other. That is one part of the innovation which is rarely talked about, but which will be extremely important in the future as well.
Hongjian, this is Chancellor Merkel's 8th visit to China. Is there a special relationship between China and Germany? How do the Chinese view Germany?
Yeah, exactly. I think, firstly, the Chancellor Merkel now become, I think, most welcomed leaders from Western countries, not only because this is her 8th visit in China, and also always, as we understand that, the Germany has a very, very good image in the eyes of especially common Chinese people, not only because some high qualified products made in Germany, and also not only football. And I think that if we look back in history in the past, we can find out China-Germany relations. It has gradual but stable development. At the beginning, maybe for Chinese people, Germany is just a kind of symbol of the high quality, or people disciplined. They always do something carefully, and they do something on time, everything. But of course, gradually, once there are more and more exchange between countries, between peoples, certainly this comprehensive exchange between two societies, just like Ambassador mentioned, that now more and more this kind of relations become more, political and strategic. Of course, because of the traditional low profile, from German side, it's just that in the last year, both countries has this all-round strategic partnership. But I think that for China, not only Germany is a very, very reliable partner in economic and trade cooperation, and also I think in the future, especially now, as we understand that Germany is playing more and more critical role in European affairs. How about this refugee issue, everything? So I think that not only in economic and trade, though, and also in some other field, indeed, Germany become more and more important, partner to China.
Ambassador, we've recently seen some turbulence in Chinese markets, and of course we know that the Chinese authorities have cut back on their growth projections for the next few years. How much of a concern is that to Germany?
Well, I think it is a concern to people who do not follow and understand in full the Chinese development process. But I think it is not a surprise to those who have followed China and its development over a longer period of time. The period of double-digit growth, everyone knew, had to come to an end. And I think China is consolidating its economy. It's moving from a more quantitative growth model to a qualitative growth model. That, of course, implies major changes, major reforms, which also affect the market, but also the exchange between individual German and Chinese companies. I think overall, the German business community is still quite optimistic as far as the Chinese market is concerned, and we are doing not so bad. If you look at last year's trade exchange, even with a slowing of growth, we had, I think, a plus of 11% in the trade exchange.